There's no lack of resources. So when you have all the resources, you have people that are wanting help, and you have the systems that allow you to do that and do that very quickly and effectively.
I remember when I first found the Facebook group, I was trying to figure out how to tap into your network of I think at the time it was like maybe 16 or 20,000.
I'll just be honest, it's very rare in this industry.
Like, I am uncomfortable, but like I enjoy it. I enjoy doing things that make me uncomfortable, that make me scared.
There's so much clicks and drama and fighting and distraction from helping people.
Wait, that isn't what you said.
We listen to all these companies, and they all have pros and cons. No company's perfect.
We get you signed up for CrossFit. So I was thinking about opening up my own CrossFit gym, so you could be the first member.
Hey,
so.
Lift the weights and make the sale, right? I feel like there could be something here.
We have a little call room right inside there.
There we go. Yeah.
Welcome to my show of ordinary people doing extraordinary things, where we hear from regular people who got tired of living their ordinary lives and were not afraid to make that jump.
You gotta be different. You can't be doing what everyone else is doing. You gotta create action. You gotta create momentum. So I'm looking for demand, and I'm looking for mentorship, because I wanted to know everything my mentor knew.
People who are just like you and me. Hey, how you doing? My name is David Price. Here's another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things. We're in Cape Coral, Florida. If you see something you like, please put it in the comments, hit the subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that little bell so you get notifications every time we make a video. I'm super pumped today. We have a special guest, also from Cape Coral, Florida, Mr. David Denning. How you doing, David?
I'm doing good. Always pumped to be here. Always happy to talk with you.
Awesome, David. So David manages a Facebook group with his other half, Elle, and they have over 30,000 members now?
Over 30,000 insurance agents.
Over 30,000 insurance agents. It's called Marketing for Insurance Agents. Marketing for Insurance Agents. So if you're not in that Facebook group, get in that Facebook group. One of my favorite Facebook groups because of the time they put into it and how great they monitor it. So David, man, welcome. How far was this? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
Yeah, I could have probably jogged over here.
You should have.
It's like 93 degrees, so chose not to.
Awesome, man. So super pumped to have you on here. And one thing I want to talk about is you've been in the industry for a while before you even got your insurance license. So how did somebody end up in the industry, but not as a licensed agent?
Yeah, that's a good story. And like everybody, I don't think I woke up and was like, yeah, I got to get in this insurance industry. It's the most interesting, sexy industry out there. I was like everybody else that, had misconceptions about the industry. Honestly, the industry maybe has a branding problem a little bit because it is so amazing once you do get to know what it is. And so with us, we came from background in marketing, web design, consulting, and a third partner of ours, Renee, had a background in the insurance industry, had companies working in this industry, and was like, hey, this industry is a lot of opportunity. It's a really great industry. It's been around forever. It's made more millionaires than any other industry, and they need a lot of help in a lot of areas as well. And so we said, okay, yeah, let's check this out as far as a specific niche that we can focus on helping with our knowledge and our backgrounds. And so we started the Facebook group called Marketing for Insurance Agents, not knowing exactly where that would go. In fact, I don't think we probably could have dreamed of where it went at that point in time. And so we started that, talking to agents day in, day out, hundreds of phone calls, learning from their discussions, the pain points, the issues, which aren't that different for most industries, and just getting really, really involved with them. That led to a whole bunch of different things that we were doing before we ever ended up on the insurance side.
So about how long ago is it that you started that Facebook group?
I'd say it's about 4 or 5 years ago that we started that group. And when we started it, the group grew and we became closer and closer with agents, their pain points, and ended up developing programs to help them grow and scale, whether captive, independent, all lines of insurance, we would work with them. And that's what we became known mostly for, was helping agencies double, triple production, grow and scale their agencies within our programs where we'd work directly with them. And that eventually led to, hey, we know one day we want to start an insurance agency of our own, especially because we're helping so many do this with theirs. But when we do that, we want to make sure it's planned out, it's with the right partner, and that we really put the right things in place when we do that.
So I could imagine that over 5 years, you've been pitched every single opportunity. This was the best, that was the best. I remember when I first found the Facebook group, I was trying to figure out how to tap into your network of I think at the time it was like maybe 16 or 20,000 insurance agents. So maybe what kind of stuff was pitched to you without picking some names, or what are some things that you went through?
So you're right. I think every literal company under the sun we've talked to, everybody saw us for the big audience and the group, and how do I take advantage of that? Which I don't blame them, of course. Having influence and getting, especially if a good opportunity in front of people is valuable. But for us, we had to be very careful of our audience. Like you said, we're very proactive in moderation and making sure it's a really valuable group and not something else out there that's just recruiting or not value driven. And so with that, we listened to all these companies and they all have pros and cons. No company's perfect. And it was more about the people and the systems and the processes than the particular company. And, we looked at a lot and we knew a lot of people, and there's still a lot of amazing people and companies out there. And so for us, we knew there were particular things that we were looking for in the opportunity. One, we wanted to partner up with someone as far as upline, mentor, someone who had accomplished a lot in the industry, but even more important than that was that it was someone that was kind of drama-free and not focused. This industry, for better or for worse, is like high school in some ways. There's so much clicks and drama and fighting and distraction from helping people get protected with insurance and also helping people build businesses. And I've never liked that, even though I know it exists. And it just seems like there's so much opportunity, it doesn't make sense to have a focus on that and distraction with that. And so that was a big important thing for us. It's like, hey, there's a lot of people that I like, but it seems like nonstop drama, and that's a distraction from us building a very, very big business. We've spoken before, our long-term goals, our goals are very, very big. And so we have to have the right setup, right partners, right people that we're doing things with for that. And so that was a big thing. Another thing was we want to grow fast. We have a big audience. We have a lot of people that trust us, that we've helped. We have a really big client base. And with us, we wanted a system that would allow us to grow very quickly and successfully in place as well. So, we didn't want to build from ground zero with technology and different stuff, knowing how long that can take and how developers take forever on a lot of things. And so for us, we wanted a very good system, very good product, and that would allow us to scale quickly. And so I think those are some of the biggest things that we were looking at when we were looking at who to originally start up the agency with.
Awesome. So we're going to get a little bit more deep into that, yes. but I want to back up. So if I remember right, before insurance, you were a project manager for power plants in Africa?
Yeah, if we want to go real far back, So my degree was in construction engineering, construction management, and then Elle's degree was in interior design, working for an architecture firm. I worked for engineering construction companies, and we did all the boring stuff, the power plants, the telecom, water treatment. And originally I did cost control and scheduling, which was not the most exciting area, but it was fine. And they did send us over to South Africa for 2 years to work on a project over there with about 300 of us from the US. It was the world's fourth largest power plant. The largest in Southern Hemisphere is like a $30 billion project. And so amazing experience, but as a part of that and coming back was, hey, we really want to build something that gives us the time freedom, the financial freedom, and location freedom, which especially location freedom was very important to us. And that's when we were coming back that, we started our first business in the marketing consulting side that we had backgrounds in as well, and starting serving small businesses and startups of all industries, real estate and all kinds of stuff, even pooper scooping companies, and that's fine. We would help them and we'd help them grow, and eventually ended up down here in Southern Florida for a project before I stopped with that company to run our business full time. And that's a story in of itself, as we would rent our house out from Christmas through Easter, and it would rent for triple for the snowbirds. And then we would go work from Vietnam and Thailand and the Philippines for 4 months and come back. And, that's one of the things that I love about the insurance industry as well, that I think a lot of people don't realize is the true time and location freedom. In addition to the financial, I think they realize that, but the time and location freedom as well. So, obviously, of agents, and I think even have some of your own, that will sell from wherever they feel like living at that point in time. If they've got internet and phone, then they can help people and sell insurance. And that's, I think, something really powerful in today's world, which was also a very big attraction to us as well, because knowing from our background, we know tons of entrepreneurs and tons of people, especially millennial and Gen Z, that for them, being able to do something that they can travel around and do from wherever is a huge, huge benefit and interest to them, as well as that's a big passion for us. So that was awesome that you guys have such an incredible system.
Yeah, I mean, freedom is exactly what I was looking for, and it, if I could find that selling volleyballs, I would have been selling volleyballs. It just happened to be with Senior Life Insurance Company, and the lead program is what really interests me. So, all right, so let's fast forward back now. So you and I meet, we talk over a year, 2 years,
Probably, yeah.
It was forever, and then.
Had to make you work for it, yeah. So
Yes, you had to make me work for it for sure. But, obviously you and Al had some conversations, right? And I'm wondering, and I've never asked this before, and hopefully I don't set myself up to get my feelings hurt. But, before you guys approached me and said, hey, we'd like to work with you. What was it like before that? What are some things you're considering? What were some conversations that you guys had?
So, I think the first thing for us was figuring out, okay, what line of insurance are we looking at starting in, and for what reasons as a part of that? And I think that's where we did identify, if we're going to be starting to build an agency, we want something that's straightforward, that is quick to learn, and then especially systems for selling. So we could grow quickly. And I think one thing that you're very good at, and you impress upon us over and over again, and maybe even a little bit resistant to it ourselves at the beginning, was the simplicity of having simple processes, simple systems, focusing on one product and building and scaling with that versus trying to do a million things at once, the jack of all trades, right? And so for us, that was it made sense that Final Expense, the straightforward product, there's a huge need for it and demand. And if there is a good system and processes for getting us in front of those people and helping those people, then that's ideal, because that's something we can grow and scale fast. We've built systems, we've built things for different companies and stuff before. And for us, we knew how important something like that already in place was. And so that's the discussions we had is more, wasn't even necessarily the product or even the company as much. Although once we started learning more and about some of the unique benefits and legacy and those types of things, that was a huge factor for us. But it was more about the person. And so that was the talking back and forth, the discussions with you, getting to know you personally, because ultimately that's a make or break thing, right? Is who are you going to be learning from? Who are you going to be working from? And that's where even at the same company, people can have vastly different experiences if they have different partners or mentors than the other. And so that was really important to us. And so you've always been very transparent and personal and open, which
I've got to be transparent.
It's I'll just be honest, it's very rare in this industry. We've been around, and you've been around, and a lot of people will say one thing and behind closed doors it'll be completely different.
Yeah, or they tell you one thing and then 2 weeks later they're talking to you and say something different because it was a lie, so they forget what they said the first time. You're like, wait, that isn't what you said. Definitely, yeah. If you tell the truth, it's easy to always tell the same story.
Yep. Truth will set you free.
So whose idea was it first? Who was it, you or Elle, who was like, hey, I think we need to work with David?
We'll see what Elle confirms, but I think pushing the agency, wanting to make sure it happened this year, I think I pushed a little more than Elle on that, because she's the integrator, the implementer. So whenever I come up with the ideas or things that we want to do or focus on, she knows that she's going to end up doing a lot of the work and a lot of the putting together of everything. So she has to slow down some of the initiatives to make sure we're successful on the things we do, versus if it was up to me, we'd have a million different ones going on at a time. So, and some days it feels like that. So
I think I do remember her kind of like, oh, whoa, we're moving a little too fast here. So we move fast. So I always tell people I want to make more mistakes than anyone else, because if I continue to do that, that means I get more things right than anyone else. So okay, so Senior Life Insurance Company, right? The Price Group, you join me, you come on over. Obviously, until you come, right, it's just what you hear, what I told you. But then you're in here now, like you're in our house, you get to see everything, you see the systems, you see the leads, you see the technology, you see the simplicity. Like, how did that feel? And tell me some first thoughts.
Yeah, so we went through the entire experience from the very beginning ourselves, because we wanted to experience exactly what it'd be like as we have agents coming on with us, what that would be like, right? And also spot and be prepared for things as we have them come on. So for us, it was really evaluating every single part of the company, how it worked, how the Price Group worked, and really were impressed by everything, right? Like the big things with the leads the way, having an unlimited source of leads and opportunities. And then I think what really surprised us was the quality of those leads a bit. And so, because as we started working them, we started making sales. We started having a very high close rate. We started talking to these people. They remembered filling things out and calling in from Senior Life. And so for us, that was really impressive because we've been around the industry a long time and we know things vary vastly in quality, and finding anything remotely decent as far as leads is sometimes very much a challenge. And so that was amazing. But even more so is just the simplicity of the systems, right? Like no more paper apps. We have a very easy application process. It's digital. The fact that you can do it over the phone, and then things that you've personally implemented with the price group, like the virtual call center and stuff, is I think one of the most helpful things out there for agents, especially if you're doing stuff remotely. Or virtually, you can feel lonely. You can feel alone, like you don't have help, or if you run into an issue, maybe you can call someone for help, but maybe now you're gonna have to get back to that client, which good luck. And so having stuff dealt with while you're on the phone with a client and getting help and stuff like that was incredible. So I think ultimately we were very, very impressed by everything, and then also realizing how we could leverage that very much so for growing and scaling quickly and providing those resources for our agents versus having to build stuff from the ground up necessarily. So, and then also just, I know you had talked to us about it, and I knew we had learned a bit about legacy, but when we really dove into not only what those benefits were and how it worked, but also hearing from people that have personally dealt with legacy, and even some agents who've unfortunately had some family members pass, and what that experience was like, that allowed us to really feel even more confident in what we were doing and how we were helping people.
So I remember, unfortunately, a lot of agents that I do hire don't take advantage of our lead system. They don't take advantage of leads for some reason. I don't know what happens. Our lead system is why I'm here, right? And I think it's what makes us the strongest, because it's people already wanting insurance, and we sell insurance.
Yep.
And I don't think there's, there's a lot of really cool things, but there's nothing more cool than someone wanting to buy the product you're trying to sell. But for some reason, a lot of people don't take advantage of the lead program. So I always am skeptical. Like, is this person going to get leads? Is this person going to sell? Is this person going to get leads? And I think it was the first day you're contracted. I think your goal was to get leads your first day and make a sale. Was that correct?
Yeah, that was, so I will say in reality of what happened, our first day we did go through training, which walked step by step of exactly how to fill out an application. It was amazing training. Shout out to Bianca. And we followed along and literally wrote apps on ourselves that night. So we, Elle wrote an app on herself. I wrote one on myself. So we can personally have what we're selling. I think that's important, as well as being very comfortable with the process. And then starting the next day or so, started taking leads and started making sales. And I don't know, I think we did 7,500 something issued in the first couple of weeks of only a few hours of even really working stuff, because we're running our other business also. And so it was nice to be like, man, if we can do this in a few hours of calling and helping leads, then what would that look like, for someone working all day long on this? And so, I think you brought up an important part of why are agents not buying leads or not working the system? And I think it, comes down to a few things. Is agents maybe don't feel confident in the product. They gotta learn and feel confident in what you're selling, or else you're gonna be scared to sell it. Or maybe it's that mindset and belief in themselves, right? Something that you're so powerful at and so good at. For you, it just makes sense, right? It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I've got a great product, people that need this, and I want to invest in this because that's investing. It's not a cost, and I'm gonna go do that, and I'm gonna make a return on my money, just like any business owner would look at that. And I think that's one of the biggest shifts with agents, is getting them to think and treat this like a business versus as an employee. I show up, I have to invest in things. Employees don't invest, business owners invest. And I think that's the mindset shift. And I think that's why you spend so much time on mindset with agents and everything, because that's the start of everything. You could be an amazing salesperson, you could have amazing leads, but if you don't have the mindset to go put that in place, you're never going to get anywhere.
Yeah, you got me to the next question that I was going to ask, because I know, I believe, last month you hired 20-something?
25, I think.
25 agents, and it's like, and I have the same thing, bring on a ton of agents, but you just said that you were able to issue $7,500 worth of business in 2 weeks, and it's just like, dude, imagine if all 25 people just did what you did, right? We're different. Your business would be, but more importantly, whether it be oh wow, look what I just did, or look how much money I just make, and So I was going to ask you, what do you think the issue is there? But you just answered it, like, their mindset.
Is mindset, and I can see that very clearly with agents that come in. There's agents that literally are brand new, and there's agents that have been around for a while. And you would think, okay, the ones with experience, been around for a bit, they're going to be the ones who come in and crush it. But they're generally not. And it's the ones that come in, and yeah, maybe it is a learning curve for them. Maybe it is like, I've got to, make so many mistakes to learn from them and stuff. But they're the ones who are like, I get why I'm making these mistakes. I get why I'm learning from each of these and putting in place. And then their policies just start rolling in, and then they just keep pushing. And it's like, and they're the ones who are ultimately going to be very, very successful because they're the ones who get it. Like, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to learn the things. I'm going to get better. I'm going to treat this like a business, versus the ones that, hey, I'm not going to do anything, and then I'm going to be like, oh, I wonder why nothing happened. It's like, you can't not implement and expect results. And so I think that's the thing is, and ultimately it's the mindset, right? It's not a lack of skills. No one can complain about that, because the amount of training and resources between both, everything that TPG has and then what we're also doing for our agents, there's unlimited amount of training.
And the Blake Group's got training too,
exactly.
Right? So
Blake,
it's like, it's just a ton of
There's
training.
no lack of, if you need help with objections, you need help with sales, you need help knowing how technically how to write the app, or you run into any sort of IT problem or something like that. And the home office is amazing. Like, there's no lack of resources. So when you have all the resources, you have people that are wanting help, and you have the systems that allow you to do that and do that very quickly and effectively. This isn't like I have to drive 3 hours and pull out a paper app and sit down with something. Like, this is something I can literally call up, talk to someone on the phone, and in 30 minutes or less could have an application in place and then protected. Then the only reason I can think of in my mind that someone wouldn't do that, implement that, is because of a mindset issue. They're scared. They don't believe in themselves. They have that negative self-talk. They don't see it as a business. They still have that employee mindset, and that's the thing to resolve, right? And that's why it's so important. That's why I think your morning huddles and everything are so important. Is because it's really covering that mindset. It's really talking about it, because I think a lot of people want to skim over to, oh, you just need more sales training and that'll help you. Well, if you're scared to pick up a phone and call someone because you have that mindset, it doesn't matter if you're getting sales training, because you don't have anybody to talk to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I was telling my girl the other day, like, I do enjoy making myself uncomfortable. Like, I am uncomfortable, but like I enjoy it. I enjoy doing things that make me uncomfortable, that make me scared, nervous to do. Mountain biking, diving, like all these things that make me uncomfortable. When I first went out in the field, knocking on doors and stuff, right? Like, I was like, oh, here we go, right? But I did enjoy that. But for some reason, people, they don't embrace that at all. Matter of fact, Michelle, my girl, she hates it. She's on the completely other side. Like, she sent me like a text message the other day, and I could tell she was nervous by what she wrote, and I just put a laughy face. I said it back to her. She laughed back, right? LOL back, because she knew, like, I was just laughing because she was nervous about nothing that even existed. But she deals with that.
But knowing Michelle, it's maybe the different version of things that make you uncomfortable that she loves. I mean, she's an amazing CrossFitter. I'm so jealous of what she can do.
You could be a CrossFitter like her, man. You just got to go every day.
Hey,
we'll sign you up.
I do go to the gym, but just watching her videos,
you got the
I'm
wrong
like,
gym.
Man,
That's the problem.
I
We'll
know,
sign
right?
you up. I'll talk to Michelle. She'll get you signed
she's
up.
gonna get you signed up. David's gonna make a sale during this podcast.
That's it. We'll get you signed up for CrossFit. So I was thinking about opening up my own CrossFit gym, so you can be the first member.
Hey,
so.
lift the weights and make the sale, right?
Lift the weights and make
I
the
feel like
sale.
there could be something
So
here.
we have a little call room right inside there.
There we go. Yeah.
All right, cool. So you're in Senior Life now. You're seeing a lot of the systems. I know you're a big eye on technology. So let's highlight some of the. I'm curious what your take is on some of the technology that Senior Life has. So we did talk about the leads, but we didn't get real deep into Leads the Way.
Yep.
And I think Leads the Way is. I think it's brilliant, right? It's brilliant. It's so simple. I'm not going to talk about it. You tell me what your thoughts is on Leads the Way.
So, I mean, I think it's incredible.
How about you describe it for somebody that has no idea what it is? Let's start from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think for a lot of agents, it's really impressive, and they're excited when they see it, especially if they've been in the industry for a little bit, because it's basically leads on demand. I mean, it's an app where the leads are dropping in every single day throughout the day, and even if you only have one state you're licensed in, it's still like unlimited amount of leads. And if you add multiple states in, you're you're never going to run out of leads on the opportunities there, and they're really good quality. But the fact is, like, it's nice that you can pick up one or a few leads, for that day that you're going to work, and then the next day you can come back and pick up some more. Or if you're on vacation, you don't pick up any leads and you pick them up when you come back and stuff. And so it's nice that, I don't have to drop $1,000 order and then wait for this to at some point get to me when I'm ready to sell right now, anything like that. It's like, cool, I have them right here. I can grab the leads. I can literally, grab this one right here. I can call Paul right now. I can talk to Paul on the phone. I can help him and write an app, and the app gets sold. And now I can go pick up the next lead that I want to call and work. And so I think it's really incredible that that's all in one place. And having done some different development projects and stuff that we've worked for previously and stuff, knowing what went into making that app, I'm sure was incredible and time consuming and very tough. But for agents, they're now just reaping the rewards of this amazing system that, let me pick up a live transfer right now that just came in. And then in between live transfers, let me grab some TV leads or some Facebook leads or some online quote request. And so, I think that was the only type of leads we were working initially, was picking stuff up from Leads the Way, and that's what we did all our sales with, and it was just fantastic. I remember a story that I'm not going to steal because I feel like Elle will probably bring it up with you of a sale that she did on a weekend or whatever. I'll let her tell that story. But yeah, it's just incredible that you can just, hey, I've got an hour, I got a minute. In fact, talking with a lot of your agents that I absolutely love, and just Bianca being one of them or ever, like something that you bring up. Every time that on their phone it pops up and Leads the Way that there's a live transfer, it's like, do I want to make $1,000 or do I not want to make $1,000? Do I want to help this person right now? Cool. Yeah, I'll come back and talk to you in just a second. Let me go make the sale or ever and help this person. And I think that's incredible, because agents dream about that, right? It's like, the company I'm working with has no leads. I got to go figure out and find out in the world of shadier, tough vendors who even is legitimate, what is even a decent lead, what's resold, what's exclusive, I don't know, or ever. Or my company maybe has them and I've got to place a large order and then I got to wait to get them and stuff like that. And so the fact that this has been built and is available to all the agents and is something they can just literally use at any point in time is incredible. And I think that's part of the beauty of the system, right? No one's coming in saying, well, I don't have, who do I talk to? Like, right here, you have people to talk to. That's not an issue. Yeah. You don't have to worry about that. So
awesome. And you did say in there, but I want to be clear for the people listening. So Leads the Way is actually an app that works right on your cell phone. You don't need any kind of special software, just a smartphone. It even works on Android. And so it's an app that works, and that's it. But I like what you said, leads on demand. So I think you thoroughly went over that and how great it is and the importance of it. And the next piece of technology is that you want to talk about, which one?
And probably Slice, right? I mean, that just goes along with it, right? Because, you got to write the app when you're talking to someone and helping them. And so Slice being really incredible in the fact that it removes paper apps, which honestly, why would paper apps even exist anymore? It makes no sense for it anyways.
Save the trees.
And so, it's just fantastic because it makes the process very simple. And like, once again, that's what you teach and preach, like simple scales, simple's effective, simple doesn't break, like, trying to do a bunch of things. And so Senior Life being the carrier, the product, keeping things simple, we can literally just input a few questions in there, literally, unless you're talking about other things with the client also, just, a minute, 2 minutes, put in a few of these questions, and it will already pull up what the person qualifies for as far as the plans. It already brings up for what to discuss with them, to talk about legacy. It's even got a really cool video about legacy. And then you're already into quoting and can customize the quote and everything for them too. But the fact that it's all there and all an agent really has to do, and I know you mentioned all this time, agents are like, what about this situation? Or what about this? It's like, just follow app, just follow Slice, just put it in. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, let me go try that. And it just walks you through. And so there isn't really a lot of like scenarios or thinking or crazy things. You just follow the app and it's done. It's the fact that it just can walk you through the entire process very quickly. It makes sense to the clients. It's not confusing. And for the agent, that's incredible. Is the fact that I don't, especially because I'm selling telesales, I don't even have to download anything. It's literally just on the site and just go there and then go through the app. And so I was very impressed by that because, that's the thing. You want to make app process simple and smooth and like also not a pain to the client because, they're not gonna sit around all day waiting for you to do stuff. So them getting this taken care of and put in place, especially as important as life insurance is important. So Slice definitely would be the next piece of technology that is incredible.
And then I think Mitzi, if you had to talk about another great bullet of Senior Life, what would it be? I got one in my head. I'm curious if we're thinking about the same thing.
So, I mean, if we're going technology and systems, I know this is what you and Doug and us have personally chosen to use, and I think it's huge and incredible, and it's our day to day of everything is Telegram, and using that for constant communication throughout the day, getting questions answered, dropping files to each other, everything there. But that in collaboration with, because I mean it's a platform you're talking back and forth, but the big thing is the virtual call center, and I know I brought it up already, but the fact that you're in there, you're seeing other agents, you're hearing from the top producers in the company exactly how they're selling and making those sales. Because I mean, so many other companies and people, they can talk a game. They could say, I make millions, I make hundreds of millions, I make billions of dollars. I'm like, I know that's not true, but but they can say anything, right? And you always wonder, like, okay, are they really doing that? Are they making that? I don't know. It seems like they're spending all day on Facebook. They're probably not, or whatever. But on the virtual call center, I can sit there and I can watch Bianca, Jen, Valerie, Rachel. I can watch them literally do the sales. I know the sales are happening because I'm watching the sales and I'm hearing them make those sales. And I think for other agents, that's so encouraging. It isn't just someone being like, oh, I made blank amount today, or I sold this many, and being like, oh, really? Or did you do that? And they're like, they can sit there and watch it happen and be like, cool, I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling right now, and if I get stuck, they're gonna help me. And I love that, and I love the culture that you've built too, that it doesn't really matter who's downline or anything like that, they're there to help. And so, Bianca, Jen, have done role play with my agents, have helped them, have hopped on calls, I've done all this sort of stuff, and that's what the VCC virtual call center is just so impressive with. And so I think it's literally where agents should be spending all day long while they're making their sales, so.
Awesome. So then, the virtual call center has been a game changer since we did it. I definitely should have done that sooner. So I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to come up with these ideas as fast as I can. Telegram, just great for communication. The culture, I just love it. One of my things, I'm proud of a lot of things, but the thing I'm most proud of is the culture and that everyone's willing to help everyone, and it doesn't matter if they're financially connected or not. And super proud of that, but. The last thing I really want to talk about with Senior Life and hear your take on is legacy, because you brought it up a little bit earlier, and it's such a strong thing when you're selling final expense and no one else has it. And I'll stop taking all the bullets away from it, but what's your thoughts on legacy?
Well, you're not taking the bullets away, because I mean, the legacy, I think when someone understands exactly what that is and can effectively explain it, it's a game changer. I mean, it's kind of game over at that point, because that is the biggest impact, I think, on clients ending up getting a policy and protecting their families, because it is so different, is so unique. It does make it impossible to even compare our policies apple to apples with anything else, because it's not apples to apples. It's like, a steak to an apple, right? It's a whole different level and a different thing because of that benefit. And when you explain this to a client, not only is it logical based on the cost savings and how much further this policy is going, but the emotional component of what the difference that's making for their family, their beneficiaries, like through the Wish team, for example, it's huge. And by the time you've gone through that and you've really explained that to clients, at that point it's just, okay, just find me something that fits with my budget at this point, because I know I want this. And so when you have something like that, where it's not just, hey, we have a final expense policy, this other company has a final expense policy, I'm a nice person, so pick me. Like, as much as I'd like to believe, myself sells the policy, it is not true. Like, legacy is the secret weapon, I think, really behind everything. And it is powerful. And every client I've ever talked to about it, it's been a big factor, if not the deciding factor, in them moving forward with the policy. So I don't know if we want to go into details of legacy or not, but just legacy by itself, I mean, that's a huge factor. And even when I explain to other agents from their perspective of why this is so good, that makes it so much easier for agents to be like, yes, I see the opportunity. I see why this is so amazing. I want to come work with you. I want to come work with Senior Life, because I see how this is going to be so helpful to me as an agent as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, legacy, I can't imagine selling insurance without legacy. Obviously people do, but I don't know any other way. And it's definitely makes it easy, because everyone obviously knows about insurance, and when you're selling insurance, you're just comparing. It's like, to me, it's like car insurance. Progressive gives me a better price. Like, I'm just gonna go with Progressive. And then when their prices go up, I'm gonna call State Farm. If their price is better, I just switch. where with Legacy, it just really locks that client in with you. So definitely great, man. Dude, super great to have you here. I feel like, getting your perspective of, Senior Life and working with me in the Price Group means a ton because, like I said, obviously managing a group of over 30,000 insurance agents and just, a little bit about like every company, I would imagine, right? You hear everyone's pain points, the issues they're having, the technology, the paper, the backup here, sure you get every single complaint, right, from them. And then you also been pitched all the great stuff, right, of how amazing everyone else is. So it's definitely an honor, right, that you did choose me and Senior Life and decided to work with us. And I got some goals for you, but what is your goal? What do you plan on accomplishing this year? And then what is what's called the BHAG, right? What's the big goal, the destination you're trying to get to?
So I would say for this year, our goal, and we like big goals, we'd like to issue $1 million in premium, and we'd like to bring on, what would that be? Like 300 additional agents this year, if not more. As far as the growth of the agency side in this. And if we start moving even faster, we'll obviously adjust our goals on that. But we've got really big goals for the agency and growing and scaling that in addition to the program side of our business. But our long-term goal is, we've mentioned too, is we'd love to build a portfolio of synergistic companies in the insurance space, potentially real estate space, to potentially have $1 billion portfolio of companies and maybe even, have some very interested companies or partnerships at that point as well. But for us, I see this industry as an unlimited amount of opportunities, especially if you can position and explain this industry well to these millennials and Gen Zs that are the next generation coming up through this versus those that haven't moved forward technology-wise, that haven't implemented these things, that are still only doing face-to-face, that are still, really, working only direct mail and other things like that, to where stuff has changed. And also the generation that's going to come in and need to work this industry and be a part of it, right now doesn't really understand that this industry is great at all. And because no one's coming and explaining to them, like, here's what this industry really lets you do. And I think that's when they find that out, they're like, oh man, like forget the 9 to 5, forget the corporate job, forget the Uber Eats or whatever. That's actually, I will bring up this story because it's a good one. I haven't told you this one yet. The other day I was kind of relaxing a little bit in the evening and playing a video game that I like to play. Don't shoot me.
Have you had time for video games?
It's a competitive game where normally you might be on comms with someone and talking to them. So I had a group of a couple people I was playing with that I've played with before. And while I'm playing with them in between a game, a sale comes in. One of my agents writes a policy and it gets issued. And so I'm like, oh, that's awesome. I just got paid or whatever. That's fantastic. And the person was like, what do you do again? What do you do for work? Or, oh yeah, I run an insurance business, for a final expense company. And they're like, oh, I need to do that, man. I've been Uber and Eats. It's rough. It's awful. I know I've been needing to get out of this. I'm going to sign up for a license today. I want to do this or whatever. And I was like, cool, let's set up a call tomorrow. I'll get you rolling. He showed up and is going to be getting his license and everything. So now I tell Elle I'm, actually working and recruiting while I'm playing the games. I feel like it's a business expense at this point. But yeah, that's how easy it is. Once you can show the opportunity there, especially to so much of these generations that are like, I've got to find something better. It's huge. So it's game over when you can do that. And I think that's something you've done very well because you use social. You are young compared to a lot of the industry. You are doing a lot of fun things and showing what this industry will let you do as you've built and grown the business, whether it is that BMX biking that you're trying to kill me with, or where it is the scuba diving and the spearfishing and the traveling in Puerto Rico and all that sort of stuff. Like this is such... what other industry is really going to let you do that sort of stuff and have that kind of freedom as you build? And so, yeah, I think it's amazing. And so I look forward to seeing the future of the industry.
Awesome, man. I'm excited to see your future. And you're currently hiring and recruiting agents?
Absolutely.
Nationwide?
I am.
And how do we get in touch with you?
Easiest thing to do is shoot me an email. But actually even easier than that is the Marketing for Insurance Agents Facebook group. That's the easiest thing to connect with me. I live on there. Or actually, I mean, I take calls all day long. I'm always happy to talk to people. I'm very, very personal. And like David said, that help for agents is so important to us. So, I mean, my cell number is 404-631-7892. Shoot me a call and I'll talk and I'll be happy to help with anything I can.
Awesome, David, man. Appreciate you coming out here. Appreciate you sharing a bunch of that knowledge with us and, taking a really good look at us and telling us, how we're doing and judging our technology in such a positive way. That was another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things with David Price. If you like something, please put it in the comments. If you need to get in touch with David for some reason you can't, get in the comments and I'll make sure to connect you. Hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up button, and hit that little bell so you get a notification every time we make a video. Again, that's another episode of Ordinary People Doing Extraordinary Things with David Price.